і все буде добре для кожного з нас, і все буде добре. Настане наш час.
Наша армія перемогла. Ви бачите позаду мене.
Where are you now and where are you?
Right now, I am in eastern Ukraine. I cannot tell you exactly where I am now because of safety, but I was just this day. I came back from Kharkiv, which was its eastern city. Yes, I was there, and now I'm not there. I was there today in the morning. I visited the center of Kharkiv, so I saw all these destroyed city, buildings, and I saw all the impacts of Russian bombing and shelling of Kharkiv, and it's awful. It's unbelievable. You can't imagine that the city you've been 3 or 4 months ago, and it was beautiful. The center is now, it lies in ruins.
What happened in Kharkiv city? The Russian troops attacked desperately attacked civilian. We heard many civilian casualties.
This is correct what you say. It's the 7th day of our resistance to Russian aggression, and starting from the very first day, they started. Russian army bombed and shelled big Ukrainian cities, and not only strategic military objects, as they say, but also critical infrastructure for the city, but also absolutely peaceful and ordinary neighborhoods. So many people have been killed and wounded, including women and even children. So there are more than 20 children, 15 or 20 children that are confirmed dead. So it's awful. You cannot even talk about this with logical. It's something that tears apart my heart and my brain, and I can't understand how and who should be the person who gives order to kill these people. How crazy and how I don't know how evil you need to be ready to do that. So I know that some people don't like big comparisons, but I really can compare it with World War II and with Hitlerism. There is nothing else I can compare it with. So the whole world stands with Ukraine and condemns everything, but they don't stop. They go even further and further and further. And I think that the whole world should unite around Ukraine, not because Ukraine is the most important country in the world, but because now we are in a bad time and bad place, or maybe right time and right place to defend the democracy for the nearest 100 years.
Okay, so you visited a hospital in Kharkiv city.
No. I wanted to go to hospital because I'm going to hospitals in every city where I am. But the hospital, which I know and which I visited many times because of the war in the East before, so this hospital is destroyed.
Wow.
They also put a bomb in the hospital. And today in the morning when we came there, right after we came, two missiles launched from Russian ground destroyed one of them, the main police station of Kharkiv, and the other one, the town house, the mayor office of Kharkiv, and the city council. So they destroyed it, both of them.
Oh, some.
But the worst thing is not. This is bad, but the worst thing is even not that. The worst thing is that they put fear in heads of people, because if you live in a situation when even traffic lights are going down, and where we were, there were debris of traffic lights and everything else, and people get scared. So it's very, very, it's humanitarian crime. It's crime against humanity. But what is good that we saw a lot of people, and certainly soldiers, who are very confident. They know that they're gonna hold the city. They're gonna resist, and there is a lot of courage and a lot of motivation. we will win because our motivation is to defend our own land. We never committed anything wrong against other countries. So we are on our land, and they came to kill our people and our children and women. We will never forgive it, and we will fight till the end, till the last boot of Russian soldier goes out.
Okay, so we got information from the international organization. Russian troops used so-called weapons of mass destruction, anti-humanitarian weapons like cluster bombs. Do you believe that the Russian troops used that?
I cannot confirm it, first of all, because I'm not a military professional, so I don't know. But I am not surprised if that's true. I am not surprised because if they do it, it means that they don't have any margins anymore, any red lines. But I think the first red line they crossed, where it was the day when they started bombing and shelling us, because there was not a single reason for that, not a single reason. We never imposed any threat for Russia. It's absolutely ridiculous when Russian foreign ministry says that they started a so-called military operation of Ukraine to deter Ukraine. Are you fucking kidding? It's the biggest cynicism I've heard. The country which is 10 times larger, which has a lot of nuclear weapons, wants to deter and to pacify the country which is 10 times smaller and doesn't have nuclear weapons. By the way, voluntarily giving up them to Russia many years ago, and in exchange of guarantee of safety. Now every country in the world, every person in the world knows that Russian guarantees cost the same money as their stocks of Sberbank today.
So, Mr. Bakalchuk, you are a musician, and I really respect your activity. And
Thank you very much.
here is your CD. I got your CD.
Yes.
And
they listen a lot to our music in Russia. I think they still listen a lot of our music in Russia. We've been touring in Russia heavily till 2014, till their next premiere. So I can understand how these people who are our fans, millions of our fans, can tolerate today what happens and don't go out to the streets and squares. This is what they need to do. They need to stop Putin because he makes not only his life miserable, he makes their life miserable. And they are the best weapon to stop Putin today is their own Russian people.
Since 2014 annexation of Crimea, your band Okean Erizzi stopped performing in Russia, and
Yes.
as you told me, you went to Russia on concert tour many times, and Moscow and
Many
Belarus.
times. We maybe did 300 or 400 concerts in Russia.
Okay, so you have lots of the supporters and the fans in Moscow and Belarus, and
we've been touring to Belarus till 2020. So the last concert was in 2020, 2019. It was not far ago. So it was, and we had a lot of people coming to our concerts, and it's strange that these people in these countries cannot resist to their government. Ukraine had bad governments. Ukraine had a president who fled, Yanukovych. We always resist because we think that dignity and freedom is very important. And these people are always afraid. If you're always afraid, you will be living in feudalism. You will be living like 1,000 years ago.
okay, so tell me. I love your music, and what I love all the music. And what is the role of the artist in this critical and fatal period? Do you believe the music can change the world?
It is changing the world. You remember where the collapse of Soviet Union, was partly caused by the invasion of rock and roll into minds of Soviet people. Because if not the Beatles and the Rolling Stones and other bands of the 60s and 70s and afterwards, probably the collapse of Soviet Union would be much more distant event. But music and spiritual things, they penetrate into people's minds and people's souls, and they change it much quicker than money. Believe me. And certainly music is very important, and that's why today it's so important that people, celebrities, musicians all over the world support Ukraine, and not only tweet or put some posts on Facebooks, but I don't know, lobby the government to give more military and financial aid, lobby the sanctions around against Russia. It's very important, especially in the countries which have where these sanctions create controversy, like Germany.
Okay, so actually, I myself, when the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991, I covered that story as a correspondent, Moscow correspondent, and I had many friends, the Moscow musicians. They resist at that time. They protest against, so-called conservative.
But not anymore.
Not anymore. I know. But I hope something happened in Moscow or in Russia or even in Belarus. And do you have any hope or expectation in near future?
Yes. First of all, I hope that Russians and Belarus people will start flooding their squares and streets in big numbers. And because I still hope that they have hearts and souls, and one day the fear of being taken to police will be beaten by the fear to be a bad person, and they will stop. Because, you can do nothing. You can say, I'm not a soldier, I'm not shooting. But if you keep silent, you are partly supporting this thing. And I don't know if you have this notion in Japanese culture or religion, Shinto or Buddhism, but we have it in Christianity and in Judaism. When somebody is cold-hearted and somebody is impartial, it's bigger crime than to do something, because so I want Russian people to understand that it's up to them even more than up to Ukrainian army and Ukrainian resistance, even more to American or European aid. It's up to them to change the future and to make sure that no crazy dictator will spoil their life in the future.
Okay, so the last question. When you, I was very much moved to see you rushed on the street. The first instance, when the Russian invasion started, you rushed on the street and asking people to protest against the invasion. What did you feel at that time? You rushed out on the street.
All of us have some fear. Certainly, a war is a very fearsome feeling, because you can be killed, you can be wounded, your life can be ruined. But it's our land. We don't give up because it's our land, and we have a very strong motivation. We have nothing to lose. If we lose the land, our motherland, then we have nothing. So it's all or nothing, and we prefer all to nothing.
Okay. So I really believed in people's solidarity all over the world.
Thank you very much, and I want having an opportunity to say something to people of Japan. I want to say a couple of things. First of all, I'm personally a big fan of Japan and Japanese culture. I had an opportunity to be in Japan in 2018, and I spent almost months there. I'm a big fan of your culture, of your arts, of your nature, of your habits, everything. So I've been to many cities, and I wish as soon as possible I come back. And the second thing, I want to say that we talk a lot about what we would do after we win, and when we will have some destroyed things. And I will say that Japan, after the war, was completely ruined, but their spirit was high, and they rebuilt the country in one generation. So we have a good example.